Every year, the government spends billions of ringgit on subsidies. But are they reaching the right people? Studies show that a big portion end up helping the T20 group, not the B40 who need it the most.
In a world of rising costs and growing inequalities, every ringgit spent by the government matters.
Be kind, Malaysia, the helping hands across our nations, working shoulder to shoulder for the greater good. So the question here, the targeted subsidies. A policy aimed at helping those who need it the most. But do they really or truly reach the right hands?
All them as tools for equity and efficiency. Others question, are these subsidies a genuine safety net, or is just financial burden on the nations? Join us as we explore the real impact of targeted subsidies, who truly benefits and at what cost.
Malaysia is moving away from blanket subsidies where everyone gets the same benefit to targeted subsidies, especially for fuel like petrol and diesel. This is to make sure only those who really need help, such as people in rural areas and lower income household, which is B40, to receive the support.
Afridatul. Today we are discussing a topic that hits at the heart of fairness and equality targeted subsidies. As we look at these major urban elites on the other side, rural farmers on the other, it becomes clear that we live in two different worlds. The question is, can targeted subsidies really fix the leakage in government spending, or are they making the gap between rich and poor even wider? Okay, so the first question is, what criteria should be used to assess whether government spending is truly helping the intended beneficiaries?
Okay, so as my personal point of view, as a public view, let's say the main criteria is actually who actually benefits the aid. You know, like of course we want to know where the aid is going. Are they going to the people who really struggling financially, or how to say that, or are they just wasting it? Okay, for example, like I just give an example of transparency and fairness. Of course, you want keadilan, kan? You want keadilan. So if there's no fairness, people, rakyat will not trust where's the aid going. So one of the example, let's say MCO. So during MCO, most of people will receive bantuan makanan. So bantuan makanan, there are part of the geographically, okay, part of it they receive more because of the power of the politics. So if the politics is not that strong, of course they won't be receiving enough food. But as the Keso point of view, but this is not fact, like this is just my opinion as a Keso staff.
Alright, we're moving on to the next questions. So the next question is that, in your view, are government assistance program well targeted to the needy? Why or why not?
Okay, my personal point of view, some are effective, some are not. Of course, they have gaps. In everything, we have gaps. So let's say, do the governments really know who actually are struggling with the financial? Let's say, for data accuracy, how do you know all of them? What about those who don't have the internet connection, especially in the rural areas? And then some programs are too general as well. They don't stated the age of the program. Okay, let's say for example, so saringan is called HSP lah, saringan program kesihatan. Okay, saringan program kesihatan is actually for perempuan sahaja above 40 years old, which means above 40 they can actually come to KISO and we will refer them to a hospital so that they can do a full checkup.
The question is, what are the signs that a particular government expenditure program has become a financial drain?
Point of view, it become a financial drain when there's a corruption. If there's corruption, of course there's abuse of money. That itulah di saatnya akan menambah hutang negara. Okay, apabila menambah hutang negara, terpaksalah negara meminjam from other negara also. So bila dia meminjam lagi negara, bertambahlah hutang, then it become financial drain. That is one of it. And then overpriced project but little benefits. I think that's it. That in conclusion, it can become a financial drain, especially when it involves corruption.
So hello, we are going to start with the video documentary topic, which is efficiency of government expenditure, and our issue is to help for the needy or financial. So Mr. Rudy, yes. I'll start with my first questions. Sure. So the first question is, what role do transparency and monitoring play in ensuring the effectiveness of government expenditure?
Well, thank you for the introduction and thank you for the question. I'll start with, first of all, transparency and monitoring. Before I talk about the role, I would like to highlight that both transparency and monitoring is very important. It's crucial, and if you don't have it, we can lose track of where our money goes. So I'll start with the role of monitoring. So the role of monitoring in government expenditure is pretty much simple: to ensure that you don't overspend and to ensure that your spending is within the budget that you have set throughout the year. In Malaysia, I think we all know our budget presented by our finance minister is done in October. So monitoring should be done to ensure that our spending is within whatever that has been presented and approved in the parliament during that budget presentation. That's for monitoring. And in terms of transparency, the role of transparency is to ensure that all public, everyone that we consider as a stakeholder, are aware of where the money goes to. And not just where does the money go, but the amount of money that comes in as well. I think that is important as well. Besides just expenditure, our income also should be highlighted as well. We cannot say that government don't have money, but suddenly banyak duit masuk. a lot of money coming in. So it's not just expenditure, it should be also about government income. So these are the roles and the importance of transparency and monitoring.
Alright, moving on to the next questions. Yes. So what reforms or improvement will you recommend to increase the efficiency of government support system?
Alright, so reform or improvement, it depends on the type of aid that you give. For example, we'll start with the simplest type of financial aid that we give to the public, which is the free money that we give out. For example, I don't know what you call it right now. Last time it was BRIM. Right now, what do you call it?
BSH. Oh, BSH.
BSH, because I don't get it, so I don't bother to remember the name. Okay, BSH. That's one example that we can use, because I believe we can compare that with the one that the state government of Sarawak is doing. That one is BKS.
Oh, BKSS.
BKSS. For Sarawak, let's compare in terms of the handout, the method of handout. For Sarawak, we are using SPay, Sarawak Pay. For the federal one, which is BSH, is using direct transfer. Is it still using direct transfer?
I think it's
MyKasih, whereby you have the choice of withdrawing cash, right? Okay. So that is not reform lah. That one is just improvement lah. Okay, for improvement, I think the method should go fully digital like what the state is doing. I believe so. Of course, there are people who argue that not, especially in the rural area, there are places with low connectivity, and not all vendors have this QR payment system, but that one can be improved from time to time. Okay, so in terms of improvement, because we're talking about efficiency. To improve efficiency, we need innovation, and digital innovation is the best way moving forward. When we talk about financial aid, the simplest one is in terms of cash handout. Go digital. That's for me, fully digital.
Okay, we are almost done. So the last question is, can the government ensure that spending to help the needy? Yes or no? Why yes and why no?
All right. Yes, the government can ensure that there is spending to help the needy. Why yes? Firstly, it is the responsibility of the government to have money, to spend money to help those people who are in need. All right. And how do we ensure that? Of course, we have seen in recent months the government have introduced few cuts in subsidies for petrol in Semenanjung, the yellow one, and diesel. And we have seen cut in government expenditure for spending in salary. For example, those who entered government last year will not get pension anymore. They will go for PF or KWSP. So these are ways to reduce spending. What the state is doing. That's why we have reserves of how many billion. That's what the Premier said. So the model of what the state is doing is very good. Instead of reducing, you look for more income, and with that extra income, you can spend to help the needy. And that's why we have all the free education coming soon, and we have BKSS still ongoing.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why our bills are okay lah. So the Sarawak state model is very good. Instead of reducing, cutting expenditure, look for income. And federal should do that as well. Because okay, fine, subsidies we cut off. Okay lah, people can still, what you say, survive. We turn off pension amount is very big. I understand. Imagine, pension. Imagine the person is not working for you anymore. You still need to pay. This guy is sitting at home doing nothing until he die for his whole life, right? So actually that is fair for me lah. But for other things, it's very hard to cut. For example, BSH. Once you introduce it, there is no way you stop it. So instead of trying to look for where else can we cut the cost, they already cut subsidy, they already cut pension. After this, I don't know where they will cut again. Subsidy apa lagi di cut after this. So instead of cutting, go look for extra income. Look at Singapore. They are doing well. If you compare currency, Singapore is doing better than us. What's their natural resource? Mana ada? Water ambil dari kita. But they do have one good resource that they really develop, which is the human resource. And that is why when the human resource are good, international companies go there and invest, and the income of the country increase. And we Malaysian, we have more, in terms of number of population, we are better in terms of number lah compared to Singapore. So that's, our petrol akan habis, we finish. Our timber will finish one day. All of our natural resource will finish. But human will never be extinct unless you do a policy, one family, one children lah. Like that one country lah. But if we focus on improving our human resources through education, like what the state is doing by giving free education, that's an investment. In the long run, you'll get income. So definitely yes, the answer is yes, government can continue to spend for the needy. Why? It's their responsibility. Number two, there's so much more potential that they can tap to ensure more income that they can get to ensure that continuous help can be given to people. So that's my answer for the question.
With clearer data, smarter tools, and policies that put people first, targeted subsidies can be more than just a budget decision. They can be a lifeline for those who truly need it.
1, 2, 3. Hit 1.